Hey everybody, hope you're having a fantastic day. This is the presentation secrets. I had a momentary lapse for a second there, and what a wonderful time of the year to be talking about this, and wonderful time of the month, because this week is new car model announcement, and a lot of customers, be it an age-specific customer, is still thinking in terms of that, and this is the reason why we're having employee pricing all the way to the end of the month. That this is to clear out of the 2025s and get ready for the 2026s arriving. And a lot of customers are thinking that. They're thinking there's got to be a good deal coming on the 2025s, as well as what's the difference between the 2026 and the 2025. The biggest mistake that you can make at this time of the year is saying to somebody, and you may have had your brand new model announced last year and then started to receive it slowly and a little bit more plentiful, and then a lot more plentiful into the Q2 and Q3, so the spring and the summer of the year. And now the 2026 arrives, and in your opinion, other than changing the Bendix on the starter, increasing the wire size on spark plugs, and enhancing the coil design for the on-plug design, so there aren't any spark plug wires, in your opinion, there's really no change. And that is probably the worst and the fastest way for you not to sell somebody today, tomorrow, and over the weekend. Because if the customer doesn't see any value going from where they are now to where they're going to be, then they're not going to buy. And they're going to keep driving around. They're going to keep looking for that salesperson that does. So recognize that every single year, at the very least, sometimes partway through the year, sometimes even quarterly, there is an improvement made to the vehicles all the way along. And oftentimes those bulletins are found in the service department and you may not even know about it. So it wouldn't hurt to do a little bit of digging. Wouldn't hurt for you to leverage ChatGPT and Gemini just to say, what's the difference between the 2025 and the 2026 vehicle model of your particular brand? And it'll do a side-by-side comparison for you so that you can at least convince yourself that there is a difference. And then when a customer walks in, calls in, emails in, you've got a pre-programmed answer that makes a lot of sense because there's someone doing the research for you, consulting with the World Wide Web to grab that information. Of course, if it doesn't exist on the web, the ChatGPT bot or the Gemini bot, in order to provide and postulate some kind of an answer for you, which builds trust and credibility that you can go to ChatGPT or Gemini all the time and get the answer. They may make up an answer. Humans do this exactly the same as well, so don't expect the AI learning to act much different than the model that it's currently copying, which is us. So verify the information that it is delivering up, and again, may require that you dig into this through the service and parts department and the technicians out back just to verify, is this true? Is this function? Is this product? Is this upgrade and change what has actually happened? Now, that is all an aside, because the most important thing that you need to do right now is presentation secrets. And my presentation secrets follow my professional presentation seminar that I facilitate for executives and leaders and CEOs, CFOs, COOs, presidents, vice presidents, and the list goes on. Because presentation secrets of the vehicle walk around or the demonstration drive, and quite frankly, the delivery, these are all essentially public speaking roles. And there's nobody in the automobile business that I know of or I received any kind of teaching and training on how to do public speaking with respect to facilitating presentations. And you are facilitating a presentation. You effectively should write your entire presentation for each one of your models. And in our manifesto of 3 phases and 9 steps, and I'll put a link below to that if you want to know more about it. If you want to hit 10, 20, or 30 vehicles per month, sell 10, 20, or 30 vehicles per month with predictable consistency. If you want to get on track to earn $100,000 per year, it's a little late in the year for you to be able to do it now. I guess if you have enough traffic, you've got enough product on the ground, I can walk you through how you can get there. But if you are planning and you've just started out your career and someone has told you that you can make $100,000 in this business, so we want to get you on track for 2026 to ensure that that absolutely happens. This is a little bit of a head start, 1/4 of a year head start, which would be great. I'll put a link below where you can reach out to me in 15 minutes. That's all it takes. Just click. It's just a left click on your mouse to pick the day and time that's good for you, and let's chat. I don't bite. I won't hurt you. Happy to give you all the information that happens within that 15-minute period of time. But if you want to know about the manifesto, or 3 phases and 9 steps that we call biology, then join that. Get that telephone call with me, because in this step that we do called Presentation Secrets, you're facilitating 3 presentations. And those are all based on public speaking. And when I say facilitate, we have a worksheet in there whereby you fill in based on buyer behavior. Now, I talked about that 2 sessions ago before Facebook drops that off out of my posts. And they're only keeping our videos now, everybody, for 30 days. So before that post disappears, go and review it. Now, we'll come back to it throughout the year as I go on and facilitate these live sessions. But you really want to facilitate a presentation. You don't so much want to do a new presentation every single time, because new information will be served up. You may forget about key points that you really want to address. So that's what customers are really interested in. And that creates our product differentiation in the marketplace and why people want to buy from you. And your facilitated presentation, you'll get so good at it that it won't be necessary for you to read from a cheat sheet or read from the worksheet at all. And it really looks like you know your stuff. And the purpose of that is that the customer will feel that you have earned the badge, the know, like, and trust badge of honor. You know your vehicle, your facilitated presentation is free-flowing and it's easygoing and it's asking the commitment questions as you go along, and it's just comfortable. This is what customers are looking for when they come into the showroom. They're not looking for somebody that has the best price, albeit that's the first thing out of their mouth. Unquestionably, I won't argue with you. I won't debate with you on that at all. But most of them are probably discovering that we all pay the same price for the vehicles. And the thing that they get really frustrated about is that a friend, family, relative, previous coworker has said, I got this wicked amazing deal on my vehicle. And that may not be because the client that you are currently dealing with is shopping, but that client heard that, they've remembered it, now they're going out in the marketplace and shopping, they're not seeing that wicked, super amazing deal. There could be a number of reasons for that. If we're comparing ourselves back to 2008 and the last meltdown of the car business, there were some really unbelievable deals being made in order for manufacturers and dealers to reduce inventories and, I call it, flush the toilet, so to speak, to make room for the new stuff that is coming along, and new pricing came along with that. Now we're fully recovering from the inventory shortage of the pandemic, and lots of inventory sitting on the ground for most manufacturers, not for all, but for most manufacturers, and therefore the customer is going back to traditional negotiation styles, and as salespeople, we're not doing a great job. And I may be speaking to you, I may not be speaking to you. If you're doing a terrific job of walk-around presentation, then continue doing it. If you're looking for some of the secrets here, it's about making sure the customer is following along with you, having that eye contact with them, asking them the confirming questions, and focusing on the hot buttons. If you're not doing walk-around presentations, and that's really what I'm being called at with a number of manufacturers to write programs and bid on contracts for next year, as well as complete many of the contracts that I'm currently mired in right now. It's the salespeople, and this is feedback coming from customers. This isn't feedback coming from managers or owners. Customers saying, there was no presentation. Basically, I walked in, we started talking price, we haggled back and forth, and yeah, I would love to have had a product presentation on the new vehicle, be it new to them by 2 years, 4 years, 8 years, 16 years of age. Not that we're stuck in a bad habit mode of just relying on the fact that, here's the price. This is how we used to do it back in 2021, 2022, and 2023. Not that we're caught in that. It's just that was a really special period of time for us in the automobile business. And quite frankly, it was a very desirable time for sellers, not so desirable for buyers. So we're getting a lot of buyers that did not capitalize during the inventory shortage because selling price was very high, inventory was very, very low, demand was very, very high, supply was very, very low, and therefore it was a seller's market. For the first time in the history of selling automobiles, other than that one new product that comes down the pipe to you that for a brief period of time is exclusively available, everything was exclusively available. We didn't have to do the walk-around presentation. During the pandemic protocol, we didn't have to go on the demonstration drive with customers. Now we're returning to a normal business climate. And with that comes the challenge of how to do a walk-around presentation once again. And then you diving into your product knowledge. The first place I would start, the easiest place, here's my biggest secret of all, start with the manufacturer's website. This is what the customer is seeing. So at least the two of you will be aligned when you're presenting features and benefits of product that they would like to own. But the other part of the equation is finding out from the customer what their hot buttons are. What is it that they would like to have on the vehicle? And by hot button, I don't mean heated steering wheel and air-conditioned seats and heated rear seats and 12-inch TFT, sunlight readable, touchscreen, center stack display of the latest and greatest technology and driving dynamics and cameras to help parking and auto park feature. All of that will be lumped together into various buckets of interest that the customer actually would like to have. When I'm out on my lot selling pre-owned vehicles to customers that are walking in, and make no mistake, if you're a new vehicle salesperson and you're getting lots of shopping that is going up against competition, largely within your brand, let alone conquest shoppers, used cars are even more shopping because it's the only one in that color. It's the only one with that kind of mileage. It's the only one in that trim level that is available within a 100-mile radius of whatever their shopping circle is. So while your presentations, and you know how to do a walk-around presentation, or maybe you've seen a walk-around presentation, I certainly hope you've watched some videos from your manufacturer through their training portal on this is a walk-around presentation. The bottom line is, those data dump walk-around presentations don't work anymore. In fact, I've got really bad news for you. If you've been in the business for more than 6 months and maybe several years, those walk-around presentations haven't worked for a number of years, like lots of years. That's what I was going to tell you, and that's what I tripped over myself, like 20 years, maybe even 25 years. With the advent of the internet, and the ability to source information at our fingertips at any time of the day, any day of the week, the walk-around presentation really got beat up. And if you're sitting there and sitting back, in fact, saying, oh, fantastic, this is great, so I don't need to do a walk-around, that is not what I'm saying. You must do a walk-around to demonstrate the value that their current vehicle is not delivering compared to what the new vehicle will deliver for the client. It is only at that point, once you have actually taken them across that value bridge from what their old vehicle's not doing based on features, equipment, towing capacity, horsepower, fuel economy, safety, passenger comfort, to what the new one is going to do. It doesn't matter whether the payment is the same, slightly less, doubled, tripled, or even quadrupled in price. If you haven't done that, the customer won't come over. The customer will see more value in driving their vehicle that is either paid off or the monthly payment that they're accustomed to coming out of their account, and they've structured their financial life to be able to support that. They just won't do it. What the walk-around presentation does is deliver exactly on what the customer set out to do today. This is the most impressive part about the walk-around presentation and the demonstration drive. Of all the things, all the activities that we do when selling a vehicle, and if activities don't make any sense to you and you're new to seeing me in action here, go back and watch the very last video that I did last week when I talk about the 8 activities that funnel salespeople to sales every single time with predictable consistency. In order for you to funnel people through your activities, the one thing that the customer woke up this morning when they decided to purchase an automobile wanted to do was to find out how the new one is so much better and different than the old. How the brand difference going from a Jeep to a Bronco, going from a Bronco to a G-Wagon, going from a gas-powered motor to an electric-powered motor, and be that plug-in or no plug-in, hybrid electric version of a motor, all of which are part and parcel to what the client really would like to know in order to be able to purchase their vehicle, and it's your presentation that they're looking for. A study in Europe recently conducted stated once again, and this has been consistent for a number of years, once again, salespeople in the dealership are the highest source of information over and above everything a customer can get online. And that's really quite impressive. When Google tells us that people spend 6 months shopping for a car, visit 92 websites, click on 90 pages within those websites, it's really quite impressive that we are still, coming from the consumer's perspective, this is out of their mouth, we are the ones that they want to talk to and find out more information about. And I know what you're thinking. It's always going to be price. And it does partially involve price. But here's the thing. You will every single time get a bad price discussion, a tough negotiation scenario when you haven't built the value bridge from where the customer is to where the customer wants to go. Every single time, without fail, I guarantee nothing more than death and taxes. But this one I guarantee for you too. If the customer doesn't see the value, if you have not moved them from their vehicle and the new vehicle exceeds their old vehicle's monthly payment by at least 1 cent, you will never sell them. They will want to try and find out how to buy a 4, 5, 6, 10, 16-year newer vehicle for the same price and ideally even less. This is what your demonstration drive actually facilitates. And again, we don't do demonstration drives, we facilitate demonstration drives. You facilitate a demonstration drive by taking them out on the roadway with a planned, prescribed route that does not involve traffic and stop and go traffic, that does involve a little bit of rough road, not Canada or America's worst road, but some rough road driving that is scenic, that is safe, that does involve a spot where we can pull over and switch drivers and that client can get in the other client can get into the driver's seat and they're going to tell you, no, I don't want to drive it. I don't need to drive it. I'm good with it. They're the ones that are owning it and driving it primarily. You must get that other person in the driver's seat, because now when both people go home to think about purchasing the vehicle, the one thing that they will say is that you had a magnificent way of convincing the other person to get in the driver's seat, and they'll say, I really like the way it drove. I really like the way you were selling it to us. There was no pressure. It was low key. You're letting the car do all the talking. You're letting the truck, the van, the SUV do all the selling and allowing the customer to get exactly what they want. When they woke up this morning, you know, based on biology, and that's 2 weeks back. So go back to the second week of September to get that step of biology, how customers make this decision. And it's a series of steps that they climb up. It's energy expended. It's difficult. It's challenging. It's painful for them to get to the point where they walk in the showroom or they call us. Not the same sort of thing with e-leads and online funnels in order for you to get their contact information. But the bottom line is, when they set out, when they've earned enough confidence in themselves that today is the day they're coming in to see you, they're ready to buy, you must complete the activities that they need to know in order for them to be able to make this decision. And we take the walk around presentation for granted. We take the demonstration drive for granted. The third presentation that you do is the delivery presentation. You really got to work on your delivery presentations as well, making sure that it's fast and efficient, number one. It takes moments to it takes moments to deliver a Tesla Cybertruck, at least close to one dealership in the city where I live, where I see these vehicles being delivered. It takes moments for a client to drop off their old vehicle and pick up the new one. Literally how long it takes the lot porter to go out, pull the plates off their old one, put it on the new one, walk inside, and then I see customers walking out again, because the delivery presentation has been done so well virtually online that those people have to write a test in order to be able to go in and pick up their Cybertruck so they know how every feature works. That maybe the reason why Tesla sells so well, stock is so high, and so many people, despite range anxiety and charging stations and putting a charger in the garage and the potential fires that have been pointed at Tesla batteries in their vehicles, that's why people overcome all of that and still purchase the automobile and want to purchase more of them, possibly because the sales style, the sales presentation is as efficient as it can possibly get, and it creates so much confidence for the client to be able to drive it that they go and they tell their friends, family, relatives how great the vehicle is. Now, I don't have anybody saying that to me. I've never purchased Tesla product, but I've got to think in order for them to be able to sell with such limited inventory at such wonderful demand and do deliveries so quickly, they're doing it differently than we've done it for the past 100 years. So your walk around presentation should only focus on what customers need and want to know in order for them to be able to make this decision. Rest assured, and you can make the assumption that they've done a ton of research ahead of time and that now they're here to purchase. When you take them out on the demonstration drive, what are they specifically going to be doing with the vehicle so that you can try and tie it to a similar scenario? For instance, if they're towing or hauling, is there a hill close to your dealership, some kind of a hillside, where you can demonstrate, the acceleration and give the customer that feeling of what it would be like to tow something heavy or to carry something heavy based on the sheer weight of the vehicle's own mass to drive it up that hill, and then share with them, this is the reason why the diesel engine is so great. This is the reason why the electric engine is so terrific. This is the reason why the gasoline engine is so capable. These are the things that move a customer from a logical state of mind to an emotional state of mind. I really hope you've enjoyed this session on presentation secrets. I think this is the most important step of our 9 steps and 3 phases of our system of biology, but you decide. I think this is the activity that definitely closes more deals than anything else at all. And again, if you want to know more about our system of biology, our system of 3 phases and 9 steps, I'm happy to share all those details with you. I'll put a link below in the comments where you can just click on the link. It's as easy as a left click on a mouse. Pick a day and a time that's good for you. Please keep your appointment. There's lots of people trying to get appointments in there. There's lots of coaching opportunities for clients of the Auto Dealership Academy to get in there. You'll be taking one of those key opportunities out. So please hold to your appointment. If you have to reschedule, go right ahead and do so. There's a link on the email that you will receive that you can attach to your calendar to remind you. But this is the thing. The reason why you want to hold to your appointment is that if you are not selling 10, 20, or 30 vehicles per month, if you're not selling 10 with predictable consistency, it's going to be very difficult for you to get on track to earn a 6-figure income. And I'll bet someone has told you, you can make $100,000 in this business. So if you've been in the business 6 months or more and you're struggling to believe that every shopper is a buyer, people are slipping through the cracks, they're squirting out between your fingers with ridiculous objections that you just don't know how to overcome, reach out to me. If you feel like you're competing with colleagues on the showroom floor, if you think that when you go out to do a walk-around presentation, and maybe this is the reason, the secrets you were looking for to do a better walk-around presentation, when you go out on the showroom floor or you go out on the lot, if you feel like all eyes are watching you, they're burning into your back when you've got your back to them because you think that everyone on the showroom floor is thinking, oh, you're going to blow another up here. Here we go again, because your closing ratio is hovering somewhere in the 1 to 5, 1 to 7, 1 in 10 range, then book a discovery call with me. And just say, look, I don't have any money to buy it, but can you tell me what I need to do in order to sell 10 vehicles? Can you tell me what I need to do to sell 8? Can you tell me what I need to do to sell 1 today? I need to sell 1 before I get fired. I know what that feels like. And if you're angry and frustrated that you're not getting the support that you desperately want and need, and that's the reason why you're not performing at an expected level, and this is the transformation that you want to go from floundering and fumbling and failing to being on the leaderboard, recognized for what you do, earning significance, creating predictable consistency for your income, for yourself, for your family, for your retirement, then book a call. It'll cost you nothing at all. We've got lots of success stories, just finished with a whole classroom full of people for the last 3 days, and you'll get to see their testimonials as well. That's not made up. Those aren't people that I've just grabbed. They were not scripted. You'll be able to tell. There's lots of ums, ahs, stammers. They'll be trying to think about what the right thing to say. They were just so excited when I asked them to give a testimony. They're like, yes, I was that person. I did not believe everyone was a shopper. I did not know the steps that people take. I did feel like I was competing with colleagues because I didn't get the support that I desperately wanted to need. And right now, I really want to make this my career. I really want to get on track to earn a 6-figure income and have predictable consistency. Book a 15-minute discovery call. 15 minutes could really change your life. Thanks so much for joining me. Look forward to next week where we get into prospect harvesting. So if you're not quite ready to book that call, I get it. That's perfectly fine. Wait till I show you how you can harvest prospects instead of blindly prospecting out there. Who wants to buy a car? That does not exist. I will share with you how to reach out, draw these people into your funnel so that you sell an automobile today, tomorrow, and the next day. Have a terrific day, wonderful weekend, and I look forward to seeing you next Thursday at 11:30 Eastern Standard Time. We'll share with you prospect harvesting techniques. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye for now.